Hello and welcome to Fight Camp, where over the last couple of weeks, new champions have been crowned and future prospects have been found. And tonight is the turn of Joshua Buatsi to shine under the Matchroom HQ lights.
Well, an understated man outside of the ring, but when the gloves are on, Farouk is poetry in motion. His skill will get him far in this fight, but expect a win to require some heart and guts from Farouk if this goes down the stretch. It was the great Jack Dempsey who said how hard it is to keep a hungry fighter down. You will not find anyone in world boxing hungrier than this man. From Mexico, La Sombra, the shadow, Luis Gerardo Castillo.
Good jab, good variation, changing the levels.
Yeah, just sold it off the jab to the body, didn't he, that right hand. Castillo's taking it well, comes back. I think when he lets Castillo lead off, he's seeing a lot of those straight shots coming.
Yeah.
When he leads off himself and gets just stuck up close. That's a lovely right hand again, and then just pivots off back to centre ring. That was good.
Boxing nice here, Cash. Beautiful boxing. And his sharp backhands, jabs, and then moving his head, not staying there.
It's a lot of energy that as well, that movement. Just the left hook up close as well. Castillo just caught a little bit tall.
It's better from Castillo. This is what he's got to do. He's got to try and get close to his man and let his hands go. We've seen it before with Cash. He can get dragged into a fight, and that's what Castillo would be hoping for. Hoping that Farouk bites down on the gum shield and starts to hold his feet, let the shots go. At range, it's all Cash Farouk.
Left hook counter there, but again, Castillo hasn't even put a dent in him, has it?
No.
That has been one of the question marks over Farouk, Darren, is he going to punch hard enough as the levels go up? We know he can box, we know he can fight, and so far it looks like he can hold a good shot too, but this division is just it's a murderer's row of punches. Bali, Daner, Casanero. Back to the action now, Farouk and Luis Gerardo Castillo. That centre ring trading. Castillo landed a good left hook there.
Good right hand again from Castillo as well.
Whoa! Landed almost at the same time there, it looked like.
Yeah, two big right hands there from both men.
Suddenly things have caught fire in the fourth. So into the sixth round we go then. Farouk just stepping around Castillo, looks for that jab to the body.
That's lovely, Chris, that. Two beautiful jabs, one to the head, one to the body. Move his feet out. I mean, that's boxing for you. Hitting and not be hit. That is the art right there.
Stop boxing!
There's a lot of single shots coming from Farouk now. I'd like to see him put his hands together. That was a lovely right hand, good counter.
It seems a lower risk strategy from him, this, and I wonder whether that just reflects a slightly unknown quantity of the man in front of him tonight. We all heard rumours that he could punch. You look at his record, that tells you something, given that all those fights happened in Mexico. He definitely can bang a little bit, can't he? So I think it was just saying, look, stick to the ones and twos early. Don't let your hands go until you're absolutely sure you're comfortable with what is in front of you.
Oh, walks onto one there.
Yeah, right hand inside the left hook of Castillo, wasn't it? Straight shot finding the target. Now just maintains that gap, stepping off and around to the side. It's controlled stuff, this from Farouk. Just maybe took on board those murmurs of criticism in the last contest. Just wants to try and make life a little easier for himself, if he can do. Stiff jab, 1-2 there from Farouk, snaps the head back of Castillo. Again, doesn't really show any signs of being hurt or even really stopped in his tracks for more than a second. Steps straight back on him.
Boxing really, really well. Smart stuff. Just not holding his feet. Moving. Great head movement, you see there. Really good reactions. Be careful, don't want to be going back in straight lines.
Stop boxing!
I mean, the tempo from Castillo's slowed down slightly here. You can understand why. He's been gallant, he's tried his best, but just been second best, trying to go to work here, but it's just that lack of hand speed. Cash is able to ride it all and come back with beautiful, quick counter shots like he did there. Just needs to jab and move now, doesn't need to do anything silly.
Seeing those coming a mile off, isn't he, even now looking fresh, and certainly looking fresher than he did in his last contest, Darren, that's for sure. It's been a much more economical approach, much lower risk approach. Maybe he's eyeing bigger fights down the stretch and wanted to get past this one in good fashion, improve his rankings, work his way up. Watching Adalberto Sanchez there, just trying to give instructions to his man, but it is last-ditch stuff now with 45 on the clock of round number 10. Farouk just spins back to the centre ring, takes the right hand on the turn there.
Well, this is the tempo that Castillo should have fought at. Really pushing forward now, but he's just left too late when there's 30 seconds to go in the last round.
Just wonder whether they expected Farouk to try and sit with him and trade more than he has done. I imagine they did, based on the footage of him in his last 2 or 3 contests, and that hasn't been the case here. He's stuck and moved, picked his moments to box. Hasn't got greedy when he's been up close either, and to put a fair bit of distance you'd expect when we go to the cards between him and Castillo. So, fighters come together. Here's David.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing here at Matchroom HQ, we go to the judges' score totals. Brahim Ait Adi and Christoph Hernandez both scored about 100 to 90. Mark Lyson scored this bout 100 to 91. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. And the new WBC International Bantamweight Champion, the untouchable Farouk.
So Claudio Grande, part of the Assisi Boxing Club in Tuscany. He's 5-0 against admittedly limited opposition, but he knows that Hopi Price has got another fight scheduled in 3 weeks' time. He may believe that he's been overlooked here tonight, and if so, his chance to derail a solid prospect away from home.
Seconds out, round 1.
So this is the first of 2 fights in 3 weeks for Hopi Price. He Dazn, the Central Area Champion, 4th of September, and he knows he can't afford to overlook Claudio Grande here because he's unbeaten. And they will feel that they can rough him up and try and impose themselves, but what they won't know is that he's been sparring rounds and rounds with Kid Galahad, Jordan Gill, Ricards Bolotniks, and Caldwell said it's unbelievable for a man of such a young age, the way he's developed and the way he's handled those high-pressure situations, physically and mentally. Walks Grande onto a stiff left hand.
He's a very intelligent boxer, Hopi Price, for such a young man. Grande, another one that I couldn't find anything on, but straight away you can see stocky, likes to hold the centre of the ring, let his shots go to head and body, but walks onto a couple of shots, falling over his front foot. Can't afford to do that against a classy, slick, very good technical boxer in Hopi Price.
Hopi Price slung that left hand in. Oh, and again, she's just stiffened the legs of Grande. He just has a little bounce just to check they're underneath him. That was the best punch of the contest that landed from the home fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be, you know, he has to be careful when he rushes in, rather. And that will play into Hopi Price's hand, but he just isn't good enough to sort of wait and set the traps.
Grande, a good right hand there, up close.
This is better. I mean, look, he's got to let his hands go. He's got to try and get close. Has to move his head after. He's got to move his head as he steps in. Again, you see Hopi Price controlling the distance with that jab. Just try and watch here as he throws the little short shots for someone who's so tall for the weight. Really does find the openings in close, Hopi Price. Good work. Like I say, he's got to start to the body, work to the body and work your way up. Every time he loads up to the head, he just misses. There's a nice short right lead uppercut from Hopi Price. This is better. Work to the body, then work your way up. Exactly what I've been saying. It's exactly what Grande needs to do. Can't be head hunting when Hopi Price is on the ropes. He will miss.
He's just pinned Hopi Price in the corner for a moment with a minute on the clock. The best spell for...
Hello and welcome to Fight Camp, where over the last couple of weeks, new champions have been crowned and future prospects have been found. And tonight is the turn of Joshua Buatsi to shine under the Matchroom HQ lights.
The Italian in the contest so far. He's been strong-armed and moved around the ring to this point. Grande is trying to drag Hopi Price into a fight, and he's having a little bit of success, but Price just calm amidst the storm, working with him up close.
Doesn't need to stand in the corner, Hopi Price. Seen how well he pivots off. This is where he wants to do his work from, Hopi Price. Centre of the ring, pierce out that jab, head and body. Wait for Grande to walk in, exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, walk onto that left hand.
Set that up.
Smart
boxing. Really nice work. And again, just feinting, drawing the lead, coming back with those 1-2. It's the bread and butter of his amateur days, but he's brought it into the professional ranks, added it to the toolkit. Again, just trying to bring his man on, working with him up close.
Was smart enough to pin Hopi Price down.
I think from memory, Dave said he has done 8 or 10 against Galahad, and well, given the fight that he was preparing for, a world title fight, and the way he boxed last weekend, we know that that would have set him in good stead physically and mentally, of course, going into that clash. With Claudio Grande, he's just going to throw the kitchen sink at Hopi Price to see if he gets any joy here, because he must be well behind on the cards. Marauding into range, letting the hands go. Caution to the wind. Will he walk onto something? Lands a right hand. Price just turns him.
It's a good shot by Grande.
Tired legs here from Grande. Price walks him back to the ropes. Around about 10 seconds in this 6th and final round. Just holding that gap. Now left hand shot. Grande goes down right at the finish. What a peach of a shot, Darren. And he sees the final bell. My word. Well, talk about saved by the bell there. I'm not sure he would have lasted very much longer at all. What a punch that was from Hopi Price. Beautiful. Right at the death. That will head over to David Diamante, who's got the scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here at Matchroom HQ, we go to referee Mark Bates' scorecard. It reads 58-55 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Hopi Price.
Great to be part of the Fight Camp series as it comes to a close, and a pleasure to be alongside Andy Lee. And Andy, for Mikey McKinnon, this is a chance to give his career a massive boost.
Yeah, raise his profile, showcase his skills, put his name amongst the mix in the welterweight division.
So the skies darken over the Fight Camp ringside area, a cool breeze drifting in. The perfect setting for Mikey McKinnon to follow up on that impressive win against Chris Congo earlier in the year in Gibraltar. And he starts on the front foot. The man who calls himself the problem. He's floored his last 3 opponents in the opening round, but they've all got up to last a full 10-round distance. But another bright start from McKinnon, flicking out that right-hand jab, which was such an important shot against Congo. And that shock win, certainly according to some, he was the underdog going in, and pulled off that win against Chris Congo decisively, according to some, close on a couple of the judges' scorecards.
And he's feinting effectively, McKinnon, too, so when he's not punching, he's feinting. Good left hand.
McKinnon lands a solid left hand and goes after Uranovsky. Uranovsky was off balance as well as being clipped, but a good shot from McKinnon. And again, a reminder that there is a bit of sting behind those punches, and as he moves up in levels, he will have to gain the respect of opponents with those shots. And another clipping right hook from McKinnon. Solid work here over the course of the first 5 minutes of the contest. This is a very bright start for a man intent on making a statement here, and so far he's been doing just that.
Good counter, left hook, uppercut from McKinnon. And now Uranovsky's coming to have a little go. But I just think he hasn't come to terms with the southpaw style, this awkward style of McKinnon.
And McKinnon reading what Uranovsky's doing and enjoying the chance to open up and exploit the gaps that are left behind that sometimes high-held guard. And McKinnon again trying to land that left hand, gets through, but not with the real venom of some of the shots that landed earlier on, and there's a kind of a cuffing feel to some of these left hands from McKinnon rather than really driving it through from the canvas. And so Uranovsky is able to take those shots, but then he proved himself so resilient against Josh Kelly. Could never be accused of looking for the trapdoor, looking for a way out, and he was hit hard and often by Kelly and hurt. The face of Uranovsky showing the rigours of battle, getting more reddened by the round as he swings it with the right hand to the body. McKinnon just for a moment turns to the orthodox stance. McKinnon is really beginning to fancy this now, and there must just be a chance for Uranovsky to land something solid, but it's a great left hand again from McKinnon at the end of the round, and once again Uranovsky bouncing up on his toes, trying to get some kind of momentum into his work. But it's McKinnon who's landing the shots still, timing the shots much better. Tries that swing left hook to Uranovsky. Landed a couple of times earlier in the fight, missing with the right
He's got to
hand.
keep the chin down, McKinnon, sorry. He's got to keep the chin down. He is rolling the dice a little bit, McKinnon, in order to get a stoppage here. I can see he's slipping to his left and coming back with a left uppercut. And then, just like that, but in doing so, he's leaving himself exposed for a left hook from Uranovsky. I think we should, on the evidence of what we saw previously from Uranovsky, I think we should credit McKinnon for this. You know, he's kept him in his box with punches and with feints. Anytime he's thrown a shot, he's been made to fall short and usually gets countered, and that's made him reluctant to open up. Tried to counter with the right hand there. So McKinnon's still got to be switched on.
Last bit. Uranovsky's tried to exploit that gap with the right hand over the top and has had only sparing success, occasionally to the body.
Good left hand from McKinnon that time.
Good left hand, and then in fairness to Uranovsky, he responded immediately with a right hand of his own.
The jab's been very impressive, and I like the consistency with the jab from McKinnon. He's jabbing inside the gloves, Uranovsky, and then when Uranovsky jabs, he jabs over Uranovsky's jab. So there's good variety in it.
And he calls himself the problem, and the problem is based around that solid right hand jab. And McKinnon now inside the last minute of an impressive performance. He's been on top throughout here, and Uranovsky tries to land a left hook, but walks onto another one of those left hands from McKinnon. Referee calls a timeout. The gun shields went flying.
That was when McKinnon, what we saw earlier on in the round, where he dipped down to his left, tried to come back with the uppercut, his left uppercut, but also left himself exposed to a left hook from Uranovsky.
And he did that occasionally on the way in against Chris Congo, leaving his chin in the air. And could be a problem as he moves up in levels, but here tonight he's been far too good for Uranovsky, but Uranovsky has been buoyed by that rare success and tries to get back on the front foot inside the last 20 seconds or so now of the 10 rounds. Mikey McKinnon then on his way to his 21st straight victory. Only 2 of them inside the distance, but he's been so dominant here right from the first bell and making Uranovsky miss right the way through until the end. And McKinnon is delighted with that performance. And on this showcase evening for him on this platform, he has produced a shutout against the Pole, who was, from the outset, second best.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing here at Matchroom HQ, we go to the judges' scorecards. Michael Aleksandar and Marco Morales both scored about 99 to 91. Jose Martinez Antunes scored about 98 to 92. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated and still the WBO Global Welterweight Champion, Mikey "The Problem" McKinnon.
And Joe Cordina, the older of the two here against Joshua Hernandez, but Hernandez has actually been a professional for longer. 29 Joe Cordina, 12 fights now unbeaten, and still very fresh in terms of rounds passed.
Round one.
And a chance here for Cordina to inject that momentum into his career. 12 fights unbeaten across that 4-year professional career. Badly interrupted by that serious hand injury to his right hand, which he decided to get operated on during the pandemic. A big right hand, that was the right hand. But he said he was throwing sparingly when he first came back in his recent fight against Farouk Kurbanov. But this time, he's throwing it with real momentum.
He looks razor sharp from the start here. Beautiful right hand lead. Before that, oh, he's gone!
Good right hand once again from Cordina. Overhand right, brilliantly timed. Joe Cordina producing the punch of his professional career so far. It's all over. Absolutely superb from Joe Cordina. He'd been talking about his wariness in throwing that punch because of the damage to the hand. But in sparring, he said he'd finally learned to get the confidence to really let it go. And brilliant timing there. Dispatches Joshua Hernandez in the first round.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Lee Every calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 53 seconds of round number one. Your winner by RSC, the Welsh Wizard, Joe Cordina.
Clinical, precise power punching of the kind we hadn't seen before from Joe Cordina. Is this a new stage of his career? A mightily impressive knockout win in the opening round for Joe Cordina, who moves to 13 unbeaten. Well, can Joshua Buatsi match the stunning performance of his Olympic teammate Joe Cordina up against Ricards Bolotniks here? Bolotniks with a patchy record, but on a run of very impressive wins. Well, this kind of fight features on the rise of many a champion during their career. Some of them are remembered as nothing more than a line in BoxRec, but sometimes they are remembered for much more significant reasons. Which will it be tonight?
Seconds out, round one.
So the first round, and always a sizzle at ringside when Joshua Buatsi makes his way to the ring. Brilliant punching power that we've seen throughout his professional career. 14 fights old, 12 of them are finished inside the distance. A lot of them built behind a razor-sharp, rapier right jab. He tries the overhand right in the early stages, trying to force Bolotniks onto the back foot, as Tony Bellew was saying. That's the weakness of the Latvian. He tries a sneaky overhand right, but is met with a similar shot from Buatsi. Buatsi dominating from the centre of the ring. And we're seeing in these early stages, but the left-hand jab of Joshua Buatsi could be a right hand from Bolotniks over the top. Buatsi motioning to say that he's taken that and it didn't hurt, but Bolotniks gets through with that sneaky right hand.
Good dip and left hook from Bolotniks.
Again, Buatsi having to advertise his punch resistance there as Bolotniks sneaks one through. They tried an overhand right once again, but this time Buatsi made him miss and followed up with that attack on the way in.
This is really a dangerous fight for Joshua Buatsi. Bolotniks has shown me a lot more than what I've seen from him previously.
Looking back through recent history, it took Joe Calzaghe 4 years to get to the top. And lovely left hook from Buatsi. And Bolotniks is trying to fight fire with fire here, but now he does back off.
Looks a bit wobbly on his legs.
Good work again from Buatsi. Making his own adjustments as the fight wears on. Impressive from Buatsi. Left hook and a right hand again, and he tries to hold those right hands. Left hook, and this is a punishing attack from Buatsi. And Bolotniks dances back to his corner, but there's no question that he was under pressure. No question he was hurt. Superb left hook. Clinical. One shot from Joshua Buatsi. Bolotniks down. He gets up very quickly, but this is a chance now with a minute still to go.
Watch him go to work. Watch him go to work now.
Now he begins to open up, and Bolotniks falls back onto the waist, to the body and the head. And Buatsi now, uppercuts, left hooks. Bolotniks now covering up on the ropes. The referee is looking on. This could be over very soon. Buatsi opening up. Bolotniks is trying to fire back. He did say beforehand he had the heart of a lion, and he's having to show it here. Buatsi casually going after him, stepping after him. He believes that the finish is about to happen here as the referee separates them, and Bolotniks is in big, big trouble here.
He is a finisher, Buatsi, but we shouldn't let this man off the hook. Tried the uppercut again. Virgil Hunter was calling for that uppercut. And it was a left uppercut that started this, which caused the first knockdown.
Buatsi going to the body again, trying to draw down the hands of Bolotnik. Bolotnik covering up desperately and moving away. Still firing back, and he lands a left uppercut of his own and then skips away. So, great fighting spirit from Bolotniks, but a superb round for Joshua Buatsi. Sixth round, and a brilliant right hand over the top from Buatsi, and follows up with a second one and a third. And now he's beginning to really up the ante. Now he's beginning to pile on the pressure. Bolotniks, though, credit to him, has taken those shots well once again. And this, again, comes down to a test of his ability to manage a fight. And again, Bolotniks complaining about a punch that's low. This time referee Howard Foster decides enough is enough, and a point is deducted from the score of Joshua Buatsi. Crisp work again from Buatsi now, who seems to be gaining in momentum. And now he's launching this attack. This is big from Buatsi now. Bolotniks shakes his head, but he's been hit hard. And
beautiful shot.
Brilliant short punching cluster from Buatsi now. Can he build on it once again, as he did at the beginning of the round? These sustained attacks. Right hand to the body, then a right hand to the head from Buatsi, varying the line of attack. But Buatsi now getting on the front foot once again. Two successive right hands and a third from Buatsi, that looping overhand right.
Turning the screw.
Bolotniks forced onto the ropes once again. There's a smirk on the Latvian's face, but he's taking heavy, heavy shots here with a minute to go in round number 11.
I just don't know if Buatsi has the energy to put together a sustained attack.
The shot that's brought him so much success in the contest so far, and it's proved to be the finisher. in the 11th round. Joshua Buatsi has come through the fight that was billed as the test of his career. It proved to be the test of his career, and he has finished it with a clinical right hand, a single shot, a test of his punching power also, a test of his fight management, and he's come through it with impressive credentials. Joshua Buatsi, unbeaten in 15 fights, and he's learned more this evening than in the previous 14.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please, a nice round of applause for both fighters. Referee Howard Foster calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 8 seconds of round number 11 for the winner of this WBA World Title Eliminator by technical countout. He's still undefeated, Joshua Buatsi.